can't believe it. Here in America, we even have drug addict rats. It's in the news. What do you want me to say? I wonder if there's a little rat AA meeting for all these drug addicted rats. Maybe this is like the rip from the headlines art that inspired the movie Ratatouille 2, Crack Habit. Welcome, I'm Rob, and we're going to talk some news, have some commentary. But yeah, in the news, I stumbled upon this yesterday. I said, what? The rats are eating all the drugs at the police station where they confiscate all the drugs? I forget what it's called. Groot, what's up? Rats eating drugs. That's what the Houston police say. I don't know if I believe them. At the confiscation lockers or whatever, the basement where they lock all the drugs. You know, you've seen it in the movies and whatnot. But allegedly, I have to put a heavy emphasis on the allegedly here. The Houston police are saying they got a huge rat problem. And the rats are eating all the drugs. And the mayor of Houston even came out and said, we got 400,000 pounds of marijuana. Don't call it that. Cannabis. And only the rats are enjoying it. And I, for one, would say, is cannabis still illegal in Texas? Like, Jesus. At least get into the 21st century, Texas. The rat's about to get high. Well, listen, this is what we're going to discuss, because this is how suspect this is. They're saying that the rats are eating the cannabis, the magic mushrooms, which I believe the cannabis, yeah, the rats could probably eat and tolerate. But at what point, like, are the rats just stumbling around after eating magic mushroom? Like, I don't think it could technically poison them, but enough magic mushrooms. And you would think, like, after the rats ate a little bit of the cannabis and magic mushrooms, like, they're not going to be that active. They're probably going to be sitting in the corner staring at like a spider web. Looking like a real-life pixel movie. My son is doing good. Thank you, Groot, for asking. Thank you. He is almost fully recovered. And the x-rays came back. And everything was good. But yeah, these rats in Houston apparently are huge drug addicts. That's what the police are saying. Now, I just want to bring your attention real quickly to a Netflix series that came out 4 or 5 years ago. It's called How to Fix a Drug Scandal. I linked the Wikipedia down below so you could read about it if you don't want to pay for Netflix. I'll be back. Go eat something. Go eat something, Groot. What does a Groot eat? Groot can't be a vegetarian, because if Groot in the Marvel Universe was a vegetarian, that would mean he's a cannibal. So Groot has to eat meat, I'm guessing, or maybe he just drinks water. He gets all his, I don't know. Does any Marvel fans know what a Groot eats? Do you call it a Groot? Anyways, if you've never seen the Netflix series called How to Fix a Drug Scandal, first of all, watch it. I'm not going to tell you how to watch it, but if you got your ways, if you be a virtual modern day pirate, go and do what you do. Okay? I ain't Judge Dredd over here. But watch this series, How to Fix a Drug Scandal. It is absolutely insane. And the craziest part is my friend was involved in all this. In fact, my friend, falsely accused, the state's always corrupt and whatever, got his record expunged and got a letter, an authorized official letter from the state of Massachusetts saying, sorry, we ruined your life. So watch this movie, How to Fix a Drug Scandal, on Netflix. And I bring that up, and I'll tell you about the movie. I bring that up because when I heard about this news story that we're talking about, linked down below, about the Houston mayor and the Houston police department saying, we got a rat problem in the where we keep all the drugs that we've taken from people. What is that called? The something containment? The stash box? What is it called again? I forget. Anybody know? But when Houston announced this out loud, it very much seemed like, oh, we should look into this. Like, if rats are eating the evidence locker. If rats are eating the evidence, which the mayor said 400,000 pounds of cannabis, he said marijuana, I don't say that, cannabis, that's just like a good business day in Massachusetts. But apparently in Texas, you go to jail. And imagine people being locked up. That's so dumb. If you live in Texas and you're in jail for cannabis, my Jesus, God help you. That state is fucking backwards. 6'9" times 6'9". Odin. Hey, what's up, Odin? I haven't seen you in a while. Odin, we're talking about the Houston, link down below, read it after because it's hilarious. The Houston Police Department and the mayor saying that rats are eating all the drugs in our evidence lockers. It's the rats. I promise it's us, not us. This is how I read the article. Everything, they were like, we have 400,000 pounds of cannabis locked up in evidence, and only the rats are enjoying it. And I thought, well, let's see if there's been any weird deposits, virtual money, cryptocurrency associated with the police department or the mayor. Let's look into this, because this sounds suspect. Because you figure if they're saying, oh, it's a problem, well, shit, who hasn't had rats at their house at one point or another? You get some traps and you fix that problem. What do you overrun like the old lady's house at the beginning of Ratatouille, where you're just down in the evidence locker with a shotgun trying to take them out one by one? You morons. And the police department, as far as I've last checked, they have tanks. They have an arsenal of weapons. The police are not underfunded. In fact, they look like the military. And you're telling me a rat infestation is taking out the evidence, 400,000 pounds of weed? This sounds suspect. This sounds suspect. When I say legal, I mean legal in every 16 states. If we're talking about, oh, it's legal in Germany. Oh, good. It should be. I always hated that, like, in Massachusetts, in any New England state. So if I came from Connecticut, Rhode Island, Massachusetts, Vermont, or Maine, or if I was coming from Canada, I'm just a legal adult purchasing cannabis. As soon as I cross the line, that imaginary border into New Hampshire, which, by the way, their motto is live free or die. As soon as I cross that line with that cannabis, I'm a criminal. And I thought, how is it one state surrounded by other states makes you a criminal? Every other state, they're just like, yeah, you're an adult. Go about your way. We don't have time for this shit. But no, New Hampshire still, and apparently Texas, because they got 400,000 pounds of weed in an evidence locker that the rats. I wonder if they're announcing this rats and they're hoping no one looks into it, and what they really mean is like the confidential informants that work for the police, and they're like, these rats keep making the evidence disappear. Because this whole thing sounds suspect. If you're in Houston, did you see this on the news? I would have loved to gone to a news press conference and been like, aren't you guys like $1 billion, like the police department? Like, don't you have whatever? I would have looked it up. You know, don't you have $100 million for the police department? You couldn't buy some god dang sticky sheets at Walmart to stop these rats? I'm going to put on my private eye hat, boom, 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 and look into this. So the reason I was talking about, I'm illegal though. The reason I was telling you, if you haven't seen How to Fix a Drug Scandal, watch, I think it's still on Netflix. I watched it when it came out. But How to Fix a Drug Scandal talks about, here in Massachusetts, the lab chemists that would test the drug. So if you've never been arrested, what happens if they find something on you? They take it. Now, they arrest you under the suspicion that whatever substance they took is what they claim it to be. That ain't always the case. So it has to be sent to a lab to be tested. Now, what happened here in Massachusetts is there were two lab chemists, Annie Dukem, I might be pronouncing that wrong, and something Farrak, Sonia Farrak or something. And these two lab chemists, Dukem, I think, was the one who was hooked. She got hooked on the drugs, so she was abusing and using everything in the lab locker. And the other girl was like cranking out so many lab tests, which all would be positive, that they were like you know, I don't know if they gave her awards, but everyone was like, she's the greatest lab chemist in the history of the state. Nobody's ever done it faster. And it turns out she wasn't even testing anything. It turns out that first lady was just like saying, yeah, it's drugs. Yeah, it's drugs. She must have had a bias or an ex-boyfriend that was a drug addict. She must have just hated people. And she didn't test anything and just said it was drugs. So everybody got convicted, even if it was wildly inaccurate. And the second lady was hooked on drugs and used them all and then faked the tests and was always high. She said, like, the whole time I worked as a lab chemist for the state to prosecute people, I was on drugs. And this Netflix series, How to Fix a Drug Scandal, documents the whole thing. And it's crazy. And what's crazier is, like, this lady who worked for the state, she only got 2 charges and served 18 months. Meanwhile, people that she faked, you know, their lab results probably got much longer time for much less. So it's just so crazy. It just highlights the corruption, especially here in Massachusetts, what they like to call townies. How, you know, the townies kind of get away with whatever, or one side, the authority gets to, you know, gets off easy. But it's crazy. And that story and that Netflix series, How to Fix a Drug Scandal, was extra insane to me because my friend was caught up in all of that, and eventually. They don't show this in the documentary, in the How to Fix a Drug Scandal docu-series. They don't show this, but for a lot of the people like my friend, they got an official letter from the state of Massachusetts saying, you know, I don't know, I forget. He showed it to me. This was a long time ago, but something like, you know, we're sorry. You know, we had 2 corrupt lab chemists and your record's now expunged. Although the damage is already done. You know, they ruined thousands of people's lives. And there's an attorney in that Netflix series. I forget what his name. A lawyer named Luke or something. I think, I forget his name. But he's amazing. And he's fighting these cases. And, you know, it's just, it highlights the real good people. And then the ones who have a facade of being good and working for the law, but really they're the corrupt, most heinous people you could ever imagine. What's up, VX Rail? Yo, remember me? It's Slick. Oh, Slick's YouTube. You changed your thing and you changed your avatar. I can't really see it. It's so small, but yeah, I remember you. Hi, good to see you. Welcome back. Oh, and for everybody new, please hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I go live every weekday. I might have to go live tonight. Solus, if you watch this later, let's play Fortnite. Godzilla just got released on Fortnite, King Kong Godzilla, and my son has been begging me. Listen, I'm a good parent. I let my son go in late to school today so he could see the update, okay? I'm a good parent. Because I was like, my parents wouldn't have done that. They were like, get to school. No, maybe my parents would have done it. I just think there's certain things that are important to kids, you know? Like, sub. I'm nice and cool. Hey, thank you. Slick's YouTube. Now it's VX Rail. Hey, what does the VX Rail stand for, if I could ask? So yeah, if you could, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell. I'm trying to make YouTube in my thing. I love doing this. I don't like doing it in a car. I'd rather sit down and do stuff on the computer and be professional, like Status Quo News and the Majority Report. And what's the other ones I watch? That Hassan. I love Hassan. He's so good. Who else goes live? I'm trying to think. I don't know. But I would like to be professional like them. Right now, this is what we got. So you just thought of it? It's cool. VX Rail. Unless you pronounce it differently. If so, then my apologies. But yeah, so here we talk about news. We have some commentary. And we like to chat it up every weekday. And what I was saying is sometimes I'll go live stream in Fortnite. So if you play Fortnite and you want to connect and we'll live stream together or play together, there's a link down below. That link is to our Discord, and we have a Fortnite thread in there. So if you play Fortnite. And if you don't, let's get back to the news. So rats in Houston. The mayor and the police department are saying if the drugs are missing from the evidence locker, it's because rats are eating it, which, okay, right. We get it, cops. We get it. We get it. You know, everybody's hard up on cash right now. But just don't make a press conference announcing that it's rats eating it. It's like, you got to have cameras in there, right? They got to have proof. All I want is proof. They got body cams. They probably have the whole evidence locker camped up. I want to see the rats eating those magic mushrooms. If it's what it is. If it's what they say. I would like to see the proof. And then if there is proof, we got to point and laugh at the Houston Police Department for having so much money and not even buying a rat trap, you know? Like, how are you supposed to protect our city when you can't even protect yourself from a rat infestation? My goodness. Call pest control. You'd think before they had a press conference, they would have called pest control. You know, if there's 400,000, the mayor said 400,000 pounds of cannabis that the rats are enjoying. I'm like, bro, if you got that much cannabis and you're announcing it now like it's an issue, you guys are not good at your job. And imagine if it wasn't the rats. Like, man, they got to have a detective to find out who's eating all the, who's stealing all the drugs from the evidence locker. My goodness. Houston, you're a mess. Get yourself together. Houston, we have a rat problem. Oh, I should have started the live stream with that. Gotta go. All right, VX Rail. All right, good to see you. The other news. Oh, by the way, Gma, if you're watching this later, Gma, how is this for lighthearted, weird stuff? I don't think you said lighthearted, but you like the weird commentary and news. And listen, there just hasn't been well, there's always weird news. But the majority of the news has just been everything's very political. You got to remember, we're coming up on inauguration. And there's a bunch of heinous stuff going on. There's more billionaires running our government than ever have been before. And I think that's important to talk about, you know? People need to be informed. They need to be aware. And what's not helping them is the next news story. Apple just announced that if you bought a new Apple iPhone, and when they did that whole, what is it, the Apple event where they like announced the iPhone, they're like, we're integrating AI. I'm like, bro, there's apps for AI. Like, nothing special about the iPhone having AI assistant. Like, if that's the upgrade, my God, Apple, you know, just give us the technology we know you have that you're hiding. Which, by the way, look at any Google Pixel phone, Android phone. They have like spectacular like they're like, these cameras are 365. These cameras can film for virtual reality. And Apple's like, we got 16 megapixels. Apple's withholding tech, and they're doing it because they own the market. You know what I mean? Like, 1 out of every 1 person has an iPhone, so they just don't have to release the tech, but you know they have it. Apple 100% has the tech. They just slowly leak it out, and they only do it once a year, so you have to buy a new iPhone. It's just like, my wife was like, where's the charger that came with my iPhone? And I said, they don't give them to you anymore. And she didn't believe me. And I was like, not only do they not give you chargers anymore, but they switch them so often that you had to purchase a new one, hopefully from them, I'm guessing they wanted, with every new phone you got. And finally, the EU has kind of cracked down and said, guys, everybody just needs one kind of charger. We can't have 4 million chargers for every phone, so they buy it from you every time they get a phone. Like, you're making enough off the phones. Guys, cut it out. One kind of USB insert for a phone. The waste is getting out of control. And think about it. Think about how many chargers you buy them at the gas station everywhere. USB-C, D, E, F, G. It's like, it's ridiculous. And they just do it to get a little more money out of you. But Apple, this latest iPhone, it was like the AI assistant. That was the big bragging point, right? Well, it turns out, link down below, that their AI assistant was making up news. One of the articles, I don't know how much I can say, but you know, Luigi Mangione, Free Luigi, the working class hero. One headline that Apple's AI pushed out was that Luigi had murked himself, if you understand what I'm saying, which is completely false. Another Apple AI false headline that it pushed out was Benjamin Netanyahu had been arrested. It was summarizing New York Times articles incorrectly and giving false information. I linked the article down below because you have to read this, because it's kind of hilarious that these companies brag about, like, this was a selling point for Apple, that there was an AI assistant. And the AI was just making up stuff and pushing it to you like it's a headline. Like, you know how you get the little headline alerts? Could you imagine seeing something that was like totally false? They're like, live dinosaur discovered in Zambia. And you're like, what? Are you like, what? Or they're like, imagine the headline was like, the billionaire who's been working on bringing back the woolly mammoth has finally done it, baby woolly mammoth in the zoo. Could you imagine? Imagine seeing that headline, getting all excited, being like, yes, there's a woolly mammoth. I'm going to see it. I'm booking my vacation now. And you come to find out Apple AI just made that up. That's what it's doing with like real news. It's not enough today that you got to sort through Elon Musk's Twitter, which is all fake and hate news, all lies and hate. You got to sort through the mainstream media, the legacy media, as they call it. I hate that. The mainstream media and their corporate for-profit news bias. You have to sift through the NPRs and the good one, Democracy Now! That's one good news that I really like. And all the other stuff for their elitist or, suburban bubble bias. You have to sort through all the YouTuber stuff for just possible misinformation or whatever perspective they're going. But now you also got to sort through Apple's AI hallucinations. I like that they're calling when AI makes stuff up a hallucination. It's not. This is not a hallucination. A hallucination is cool, whether it's a scary one or a real one. Hallucinations are cool. This is direct lying. This is simple and direct. It's lying. The AI is lying. So if you have I don't have it, and I wouldn't have it turned on anyways. I don't use Alexa. I don't use Siri. I don't use AI. That stuff is rubbish. I don't give a shit. I'm not that lazy where I got to yell out, hey, Siri, tell me the weather. It's like, I'm old school. I type in a password and I look it up. My goodness. When I used to drive around, if I didn't know where I was going, I had a map in the car. Okay, kids? I sound like an old guy yelling at the clouds, but I'm going to be real with you. Like all this Siri, Alexa, AI assistant nonsense, rubbish, it's so dumb. It really doesn't help us. And in fact, it's hurting us. And that's the point of this news story that I linked down below. Please like and subscribe. And then after you subscribe, hit the notification bell. I do go live every weekday. So we've talked about the rats in Houston eating all the drugs from the evidence locker. I'm telling you, if the police don't release a video of a little ratatouille-looking rat dancing around, eating all the weed and making, crepes or whatever, then I really think, well, the mayor was in the news conference with the police department. Who can investigate? If the mayor and the police are saying the drugs in the evidence locker are gone, who can investigate? What do you got to call a different city and be like, hey, we think there's something suspect going on. Let's have Mexico come investigate. Drug addicts from Mexico. So we talked about the rats allegedly eating all the evidence. My God, I can't believe how much money the police department gets, and they can't protect the drugs and evidence from rats. Give me a break. Oh my God. Now we talked about the Apple AI pushing you. I don't know. Anybody experience this? If you experience this, please leave it down below. Because that would be so weird. Because I don't mind alerts. I don't like them all the time. But certain things, like if, something major happens, it's good to have an alert. What does the future look like? Remember when Hawaii had that, I forget what the alert was, and it was a scare, but it was a false alarm. And people were terrified. When I lived in Hawaii, man, if something happened, you're on an island. That was terrifying. But just think of how much Apple trusts its AI to release it on all its new phones, and the thing was lying about the news, making up headlines and pushing it out to you as alerts. That's terrifying. God, I know they don't want to pay people, but Jesus, make sure your tech works, folks. And what else do we... Oh, so those are, I think, the two big news stories I wanted to briefly touch upon. I'm telling you, this story about rats eating all the drugs out of the evidence locker, maybe I'm just too old and I've seen too much, but I'm struggling to believe this one. And I haven't looked into... This is what I'm probably going to do later. I'm going to look into the Houston Police Department and the mayor and see how many corruption scandals or... ethical violations they have had in the past, because something's smelling hinky. Something's a little janky over here. And I'm really struggling to believe them saying, oh, the rats got it. Really? Should be a meme. And just if you got an iPhone and you have Apple's AI working for you, it's lying to you. So please be careful. All right. Hit subscribe, hit the notification bell after. I go live every weekday. I am Rob. I'll bring you news. We talk commentary. And if you like Fortnite or you want to suggest some cool books that you've read or here's some of the books I like to read, we got a really awesome Discord that's that Solus, who is a subscriber, helped me maintain. He also plays Fortnite with me. So the Discord is amazing. The link is down below if you want an invite to join us in the Discord. It's just a little community outside of this YouTube channel. And if you could, it only takes a moment of your time to just hit that subscribe button real quick. Hit the like button real quick. And you can join me every weekday. We'll talk news. We'll talk what's going on in life. I'll try to give you whatever advice I've gained in my decades on this spinning rock. And hopefully we'll have some fun. So thank you so much for joining me. VX Rail, Odin, good to see you. Corrupted, and Anna, and Groot. Thank you guys for chatting it up with me today. Much love, respect, peace. Oh, and keep an eye out for me. I might live stream Fortnite later tonight. So if you get an alert, you want to see what we're trying to find, that Godzilla. Godzilla got released in Fortnite, if you don't know, and he's going to be a big boss on the map, and you can play as him. So maybe we'll try to get some live streaming of that. All right, and Gma, I hope today's live stream was a little more lighthearted for you. It was a little weird. I love weird. When you said that struck a chord with me. You know, Gma is another sub who left a comment, said, I like the weird commentary, news commentary. I said, you know what? Me too. I love weird stuff. That's what makes the planet cool, man. It's the weird stuff. Think about it. If every tree looked the same on planet Earth, you'd not care for trees. But because the birch tree has gone and painted itself like a gosh darn zebra, I love the birch tree. Something about that birch tree. Not just that, but it makes soda. If you've never had birch beer, which is just a birch tree soda, it's delicious. It's a New England specialty. Maybe it's in other regions. I've only seen it in New England from my time living in other states. But you know, weird is good. So if you're out there and somebody calls you weird, go thank you. I do when they call me weird. But think about that, you know? Weird is what makes this experience called life enjoyable. And seriously, the birch tree is my favorite tree. I love painting it. I love looking at them. They smell good. I like burning them. I like, I don't know. Can you build a home out of birch? I don't think birch is a home building wood, but my God, is that an idea? All right, guys. Thanks so much for joining me. Unless there's anything else anybody wants to say. Here's your moment. We used to do this on Fridays on the radio show. You can call in and talk about whatever you want. Go ahead, caller. Hey, just wanted to say. I love radio. I had a radio dream last night. Not many people dream in radio. I do. And it was amazing. All right. I'll give you another minute. If you want to speak up, if you want to say anything. I'll wait. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to wait. Oh, the other thing is, I don't have any sponsors or anything, but Suja, lemon, ginger, cayenne, made with apple cider vinegar. I've been feeling sick. Last week I was really sick. This week I was pretty sick, but I've been recovering. And I got one of these yesterday. When I lived in Southern California, I drank these all the time. I just can't afford to now. I got one of these yesterday, and today I'm feeling even better. I got another one today, tomorrow. Like this, I'm going to just start making some. I'm just going to pour a cup of cider vinegar, put some cayenne, some lemon juice in there, and a sprig of ginger, some ginger root, and just shake it up and drink it. This is the greatest drink. I know it sounds weird, but I'm telling you, it is the greatest, most delicious drink. God, I can't wait till I get to a point where I'm doing advertisements. I'm doing them for Suja Organic. I've been drinking this for over a decade. And they got other good ones. Because because I saw Sam Cedar on the Majority Report talking about honey. He was doing an ad for honey, and I thought, you could do ads for honey? Man, YouTubers are so weak. They do all the same ads for Night of Shadows or whatever that app is, where it's like knights fighting or whatever, the magical game of fighting. Like, everybody does that game, but why? Like, Sam Cedar and the Majority Report is doing honey. They're doing ads for honey. That's awesome. I would be doing ads for toothpicks, honey, suja, lemon, cayenne, ginger, apple cider water. Sorry, apple cider vinegar water. Man, expand your horizons. All right, that's it. I'm out. Peace.